Coming to you from the T-Town Studios from the free state of Florida, sponsored by Maker's Mark Bourbon. This is Don't Tread on America. And I am your host, John Q. Come on. All right. How's everybody doing out there today? It is Monday, September 2nd, 2024. Hopefully this comes out good today. I'm trying something, I don't want to say new, but it's new again. I'm taking a deep dive into doing Rumble Live. So we'll see. Hopefully everything turns out well from a sound standpoint, because as you recall, we had issues last time. But hopefully everything works out, guys. A couple of things. So with doing so, I had some things here to talk about, but apparently I do not. So anywho. All right, guys. So welcome. If you're watching this on Rumble right now, no one is, but that's fine. It's not like we have 5,000, 5 million, or 500 for that matter subscribers. We have just a handful. So anyway, well, a handful. We got like 50 something. Anyway, so guys, a couple of things, guys, real quick. Make sure whatever podcast app you're listening to this on that you are following the show. Guys, please. Very important. If you're on Apple, if you're on Spotify, if you please give us a rating. Those things help so much more than you can realize. And if you could please give us a follow, give us a rating, and on Apple, if you could give us a review. I'm sorry, I know I seemed a little discombobulated because I'm constantly watching the Rumble situation to see if everything is working properly. I don't know what happened to this because I had something here. Because they want you to do, it's okay. I'll figure it out later. We'll figure it out for another day. It's not a big deal today. I just wanted to try something different because I went back and listened to, the reason I want to do this live. Fuck it, we'll do it live. Now, the biggest reason I want to do it live on Rumble is because I play clips, obviously, right? And, by the way, if you're listening to this on podcast, it is Rumble, on the Rumble app. Go to Don't Tread on America TV. And anyway, the reason I want to do this live is we can still record it. It's still going to be video. It's still going to be available. It's not that big of a deal. If I get 5, 10, 100, 200, 5,000 people watching it, cool, whatever. If I don't, whatever. I know we get people to watch it on replay, and that's fine with me. But the reason I want to do this is because obviously I video this show. Whatever I'm talking about, whatever it is, generally speaking, I have clips. I have audio, or I have everything that I have is a video clip. It's not an audio clip. It's a video clip. So the reason I want to try this live is because that's the only way. Now, obviously, it's just me. There's no producers. There's no directors. There's no audio video person. It's me. It's the three of us. It's me, and then there's myself, and then there's I. It's just us. So I don't have the ability to sit here and talk to you and read a script and say blah 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 blah, and then Bob's over here hitting the fucking buttons and doing whatever needs to be done. I'm doing it. So the only way I can get good at doing this is to continuously do it. My biggest issue before with doing this live was the sound. And so far, so good. So we'll go with that. Now, mind you, I am drinking whiskey today because it's my day off. It is Labor Day. And I go back to work tomorrow, and God only knows what I'm walking into. So I need to center myself. So with that being said, guys, please make sure you hit up our sponsors there. We got Reaper Apparel Company. Check them out at reaperapparelco.com. Use promo code DTOM, get you 10% off. That's Reaper Apparel. They got t-shirts, tank right now. Right now, as a matter of fact, they have a tank top sale. I think it was 3 for $40. So 3 for $40. Use your promo code DTOM, you get 10% off. So it'd be $36. That's $12. What is that? $12 a shirt? Come on, man. Come on. That's a pretty good price. You're helping a show out. You're getting some cool tank tops. I know it's the end of summer, but the bulk of the people that listen to the show are in Florida and Georgia and California. Now, whether I don't know if you're in North or South California, I don't know. At any rate, even if you don't wear them now, I mean, in Florida, you can wear tank tops for another 3 or 4 months, really. And even into January and February on certain days. And you know what? There's always next year. So it ain't going to kill you to buy a couple tank tops. They have t-shirts. They have hoodies going into that time of the year. It's hoodie season, right? Or not yet, but it will be. So get you a hoodie. They have all sorts of stuff, guys. And if you want to help out a charity, guys, please go to the DTOM store. Now, what we're doing there, DTOM store, I've knocked the prices down as low as I could possibly put them down, which doesn't save a lot of room for profit. So what I'm doing with that little bit of profit is we're going to go ahead and give it to charity. We're giving it to Tunnels to Towers. So please, the DTOM store is only going to be open through the end of this year. Now, I just had a purchase today from a individual young man named of Ed. I won't give out his last name. That way people don't berate him, but thanks, Ed, for your purchase. However, we are out of these nifty glasses here. If you're watching this on Rumble, I'm going to take a sip here. We're out of those glasses. Now, what kills me about Shopify and Printify, those are, you would think if you have an item in your store that they would notify you, hey, this item is no longer available. Not to mention the fact that they allow people to order them. So, Ed, don't worry, I took care of you, buddy, because what I did was I saw that and I went and designed a new glass just for you. Not really. It looks exactly like the glass you bought. It's just a different vendor. Anyway, still coming from the United States of America. Ed, your order will ship this week like they do. You order it today. You get it shipped in the next couple of days. Today's a freaking holiday, people. Today is Labor Day. My man ordered 2 items. They're being prepared right now with a possible ship date of September 5th, which is what, Thursday? Chances are it'll probably ship by Wednesday. I'd be willing to bet. Anyway, guys, that's how quick it can happen there. And then, a couple dollars of what he spent will go to Tunnels to Towers. So, guys, if you want to help out, and the reason I'm doing this is because it's not about me making the money, okay? It's about you helping me advertise the show by wearing the t-shirts, drinking out of the glasses, using stickers, putting a sticker on your vehicle or whatever, buying a t-shirt, buying a tank top, buying a hoodie, and promoting the show that way. So if I don't make any money, that's fine. It's more about advertising. You have to pay to advertise. So I'm not making any money. I'm not losing any money, just not making any money. You understand the difference here? Because obviously we have to pay for the product to be made. And I'm not that rich, so I can't afford to pay for that also. So whatever little bit of profit, we'll send it that way. And you're helping me and we're helping them. So you helping me, helping them. It's a win-win-win. That's what it is. You get a fresh ass piece of clothing. You get a fresh ass whiskey glass or orange juice glass. What are you going to use it for? You get a t-shirt, whatever the case is. And I get advertisement and they get money to their charity. So, all right, guys. One thing real quick before we get into the show. The show, by the way, today's show is going to be called The Conspiracy to Imprison President Trump. As you are watching this on Rumble, you know that because I've already titled the show. Anyway, before we get into all that, guys, please make sure if you want to follow us on social media, we are Don't Tread on America on Facebook, Instagram, True Social, and the Ticker Talker. And on the Twitter X machine at DTOM_1775. And on website, go to the website. Don'tTreadOnAmerica.com. We have a website. We're huge, dude. I mean, we're one of the best performing websites on GoDaddy. Yes, it's true. Whatever. So please go to the website. From there, it's one-stop shopping. You can go to all the social media sites. You can go to the DTOM store. You can go to the sponsors page. Everything else is there. And the best way you can do that is on your podcast app. But once you're listening to the song, scroll down, and it'll say all the stuff you needed. Just click on it. Just go there. All right. So, how's it going? As you watch the news, I'm going to try something here. Since no one's watching, sons of bitches, I'm going to see if I can pull this up and share it. Am I not going to be in the corner? I am not in the corner. I thought I would be in the corner, but anyway. All right, so I'm going to read my little script here that I wrote. Okay, so as you watch the news this holiday weekend, we are inundated with Israel-Hamas war and the hostages that were killed and the ones yet to be released, and ceasefire negotiations and so on and so forth. And, no disrespect to those individuals, no disrespect for the people that are living in Israel and the Palestinians and the Israelis and the Jewish people and whoever and whatever. This is by no means no disrespect to those individuals. And I said this before, I'll say it again, I'll say it 100 more times. My issue has nothing to do with the Palestinian people or the Israeli people, whatever their religions are, Jewish, Christian, whatever. My issue is obviously, just like everyone else's issue, with Hamas and the IDF. Now, I'm going to touch on this just for a second because this has nothing to do with what I'm going to talk about, but I have to say what I want to say. Benjamin Netanyahu is a tyrant, okay? I said it. I don't care. The fact that these things are still happening, the fact that there can never be, and there probably will never be, a peace negotiation is because of him. Now, I'm not saying that Hamas is any kind of angels by any stretch of the imagination, but there comes a point in time where you have to negotiate peace. Now, I'll say this. If, capital I, capital F, gigantic explanation point, if you should be the bigger man as the world leader. Netanyahu is one of those people. He's on the equivalent of a Biden, Putin, those types of individuals. As the bigger power, you should be the bigger person and try to find the peace. But if they turn their backs on you and stab you in the back, okay, then it is what it is. My biggest issue is when you're dealing with people like Hamas, you're dealing with thugs. It would be like trying to negotiate, in all honesty, it'd be like trying to negotiate with a gang or like what's going on in Aurora, Colorado. I don't think there's a situation where talking is going to get the job done, unfortunately. The problem is with these people, whether they're the people in the Venezuelan gangs in Aurora or these people in Israel, they're cowards. They're pussies. Okay, and they'll hide behind innocent people, and then you'll get they should have left. They should have done. Okay, that's easier said than done. Okay, if I sat here and told you that your state was going to get invaded, do you have the means to just pick up and leave? Most people don't. No matter what country you live in. And obviously other countries are worse than the United States of America. So what makes you think that these Palestinian people can just up and leave, to get out of harm's way? It's not as easy as people want to say. They should just leave. They should go. They shouldn't be there. Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. I don't know the answer, obviously. I used to have a mentality of fuck them all. You know what I'm saying? Just kill them all and let God sort them out. That was a motto that I lived by for a very long time. Okay, as I've gotten older, I've realized that it's that's not a fair assessment to say. Unfortunately, there are world leaders that actually follow that motto, and unfortunately, you're dealing with one of those as your prime minister. But so when I say that it's their country, it's their plight, I really don't give a rat's ass. I hate to say that, and I hate to sound harsh, but this is don't tread on America. This isn't don't tread on the world. This isn't don't tread on Israel. This isn't, once again, if Hamas, if those types of people want to bring their fight to here, if they want to come to Polk County, Florida, by all means, come on. Because unlike Israel, the people in this country are armed to the teeth, teeth to the hilt, whatever. We're armed. And I don't foresee that happening. But the interesting thing is these individuals aren't dumb. It's just like what's going on in Colorado right now. What has this got to do with the imprisonment of Trump? Guys, come on, just cut me some slack here. um, do you think that these individuals that are in Colorado or Denver, wherever all they're at, do you honestly believe that they're there, that they are there because it's the easiest place to go? It's nice weather. Have you been to Colorado? They are there because it's an easy target. Okay. Um, these roving gangs that have come from other countries, these MS-13, these Venezuelan gangs, these are dangerous people. They are our version, I guess you could say, of what Hamas is to the Israelis. And unlike Israel, the country that we live in isn't 100% without weapons, but states are, especially certain areas in certain states. These individuals know this, and that's why they're targeting the places they target. You don't see those people rolling into Texas like that. You don't see them rolling into Florida and Georgia and stuff like that. You don't see that because we wouldn't let what's happening in those in Colorado, for example. I can't imagine we would let that happen. Hopefully, I'm right, and it doesn't happen. But that's why I say, no disrespect to the people that live there, and I'm not trying to be an asshole about it. It just is what it is. But when it comes down to it, those countries don't give two shits about our issues, our plights. So that's what I'm focused on. How come during all this talk about the Middle East or the fight for the office of president of the United States, why isn't the media beating this drum? So upcoming today's September 12th. Today's September 2nd. So in 16 days from now, September 18th, Judge Marchand is expected to deliver the sentencing on Donald Trump. Now, as a person, me, that believes in justice and the motto that don't do the crime if you can't do the time, in this case, justice is not only blind, it's deaf and dumb too. If you're not quite sure exactly what I'm talking about, let me enrage you with this. So, Judge Merchan's daughter has raised $93 million for her Democratic clients, significantly benefiting from the case against Trump. She received nearly $12 million this cycle alone for her efforts with a $9.7 million coming from the Biden-Harris campaign. Additionally, DA Bragg garnered $850,000 in contributions immediately after announcing the 34 counts against Trump. Now, this is Representative Kat Cammack. She's out of the great state of Florida. And I'm going to play this. This is a little bit long, so just hang tight. So it's a 5 minute clip. We're not going to play the whole thing. Now, the kicker is here. What you have to realize is that in this situation, the judge himself has donated to campaigns. Okay, that's bad enough. The problem is his daughter, albeit like this gentleman said, she's not she's not directly involved in the case, right? She's obviously not a juror. She's not a lawyer. She's not the clerk. She's not the assistant to whatever. She's the daughter. Why is that important? Okay, if you are a parent, okay, you're listening to this, you're a man, you're a woman, whatever, you got kids, son, daughter, grandkids. I have all of the above. Okay, now my grandchildren are kids. The oldest one is only 12, so this obviously wouldn't apply to them. But say my kids, my son, my kids go anywhere from 28 and up. My youngest is 28. If he's or she's, I should say, were involved in something like this, okay, and I'm a judge, I'm not, but if I were, the admirable thing to do is to recuse yourself. Okay, and the reason I say this is this: if you're a judge and you feel that as a judge you've read the evidence, you've gone through, and let's take Trump out of it. I mean, we shouldn't, because obviously he's the main factor in this whole situation. But if it was a murder case, okay, and your daughter was, let's say your daughter was a friend of the murdered person, and now that's a bad example. Let's just use Trump. Fuck it. We'll just use Trump as an example. Here's a situation where you have the main person. There's two people running for president, Trump and Harris. If Trump is your main competitor, okay, there's no one else. There's not 5 other people running for president. And your daughter runs an organization whose clients are the people that are running against Trump. At one point, it was Biden-Harris campaign, but now it's just the Harris-Walz campaign, but Harris nonetheless. And those individuals are donating millions of dollars to their campaign, on top of the fact that she is in turn giving money, dispersing money to other entities, such as Alvin Bragg, the person who brought the charges against Trump to begin with. The interesting thing about all this is 4 years ago, 5, 6, 7 years ago, they could have brought these charges up the day he lost the presidency, whatever, lost, stolen, whatever you want to go there, doesn't matter. January 21st of 2021, the day after he's out of office, they could have brought these charges against Trump. Why didn't they? Because at that point, it's over. Trump lost. He's no longer a threat, right? And we've talked about this before, so I'm not breaking any news here. But isn't it weird how when Trump announced, okay, I'm running for re-election, that shortly thereafter, Bragg's given this money by this organization, which by the way, is called, what is it called? It's called something. Authentic.org is the name of the website if you want to look it up. And, damn near $1 million for his campaign. Now, obviously, we don't know this unless someone actually admits to it, but you got to wonder, was it a situation where, look, we're going to give you this $850,000 for your campaign, but we're going to need you to do a little something for us. I'm not saying that's the case, but it sure looks like the case. Okay. So as we dive into Judge Mershon's daughter, she is the president of an .org, like I said, called, what did I say it was called? Authentic.org. Um, this is an article I'm going to read here. This has got to be a coincidence, right? There's definitely no conflict of interest going on here with a legal proceeding in New York City against former President Donald Trump. It is just a coincidence. Then someone's got to do, we got some splaining to do here, right? Remember how a lot of people were questioning Judge Juan Mershon, the judge presiding over the case against Mr. Trump in New York City, where he was found guilty in all 34 counts. Well, we're still not sure in his possible conflict of interest in this case because his daughter, Lauren, allegedly a Democratic fundraiser. Well, there's this. Lauren Mershon is the president of an organization called Authentic.org, who claims they are an award-winning digital marketing agency that campaigns and nonprofits trust to help change the world. This is verifiable. Like I said, you can go to the website. I'm going to go to the website here, and I'm going to, hopefully, if I've got this thing figured out, I'll share it with you and you can watch it. But it claims that they're an award-winning digital marketing agency that campaigns. This is verifiable, not only from Viva Frey, her company's website displaying her as the president, but also from a letter sent by the House Judiciary Committee to Lauren Mershon, President, Authentic Campaigns, Inc., on August 1st. In the letter, the committee identifies Lauren Mershon as Judge's daughter by writing, "Judge Mershon, your father." The letter, for context, questions. Experts have raised substantial concerns with Judge Mershon, your father, refusing to recuse himself from President Trump's case, despite the work on behalf of Trump's political adversaries, and the financial benefit from your firm, Authentic Campaigns, Inc., could receive a prosecution and conviction. The letter states, accordingly, as the committee continues its oversight, we believe you possess records that will inform legislative reforms to address weaponizing of judicial systems. But what really cements the conflict of interest storyline is Authentic's printing of its full client list. Now, I can't read this because, I'm old. So, you know what? We'll just go to the website. Now, I'm going to share this, possibly. Look, it's a work in progress, guys, okay? It's a work in progress. Let's see. It is this one. Share. There we go. Here's the website. If you're watching this on Rumble, Authentic is a digital marketing and fundraiser agency. This is their website. I'm not making this up. That creates lasting and elusive change. So we're not gonna read everything here, but you can see, if you're watching this, you can scroll and you can see the people that are on the pictures and who they endorse. They've raised $562 million in funds. So let me scroll to the bottom here. It's kind of lagging for some reason. It's lagging. Come on. Where are you at? Let me go to about. Maybe it's on about. Of course, it doesn't help that my internet's slow as shit for some reason all of a sudden. Probably because I'm doing too much. What do you think? Probably. Well, shit, where's the damn list of people? It was on the bottom of the thing here, man. Come on. I want to join your team. Do that. Let me see if I can search. Go back to the main screen here. Of course, I was more prepared than this. Let me see. Let me bring it up here on the Twitter machine here. I can see it here. So, Kamala Harris's campaign, starting in 2019, over the years, has paid Judge Mershon's daughter $7.5 million. Now, mind you, this started when she was running for president the first time, right? But this really pisses me off that I can't find that fucking. Maybe it's under our work. Let's see. Well, you can, yeah. So here's pictures of some of the people: Congressman Pat Ryan, Congresswoman Lauren Underwood, Governor Katie Hobbs, Gretchen Whitmer from Michigan, different Immigrant Justice Fund, National Immigration Law Center. Oh, look at that. Joe Biden, Senator John Hickenlooper, the Senate Majority PAC, which includes all the people that are in the majority in the Senate, which is the Democratic Party. Wisconsin Democrats. Our clients. So here's our clients. Oh, featured clients. Biden Harris, NRDC, Adam Schiff for Senate, Michelle for mayor, for whatever. But if you scroll down here, here's a full client list. If you're still watching this on the Rumble there, what's the first one you see there on the top left there? Kamala Harris for president. Okay. Amongst others. I mean, there's a pretty good list here. Real quick. So let's see. Senator John Tester, Cory Booker, John Hickenlooper, Tammy Baldwin, Michael Bennett, Martin Heinrich, whatever, Mazie Hirono, Tina Smith. These are all senators. Ben Lujan, Chris Holan, August King, different governors, Katie Hobbs, Tina Kotek, Gretchen Whitmer, Gavin Newsom, Steve Bullock, Kathy Hochul. Interesting. So let's highlight Kathy Hochul. Okay. Then we could see various representatives and Congress people, and obviously various other organizations that they've raised over $500 million amongst all these situations. Now, this is money that Judge Marchand's daughter's organization has raised, donated, and received. She's received money from these, because this isn't just a political pact where they just do advertising. They work with campaigns such as the ones I just read, where they let me stop sharing here, where they do digital, they do commercials, they might have a TikTok presence, a social media presence of some sort. And these campaigns, the Harris, because it's no longer Biden, you saw Harris for president, the Harris campaign is using her organization, her digital platform, to help do the job of trying to win president. Okay. I'm trying to figure out the words I'm trying to say here. Got too much going on. That's a bad thing about doing live. And then you have a situation where, come on, she's just this year alone, Judge Marchand's daughter ranked in $12.7 million in the first 6 months of 2024. Now, this case with Trump and Alvin Bragg and the 34 counts, that started when was that? March, April, May, right? April, somewhere around there. And this September is when it's supposed to conclude, or it's already concluded. He's already been found guilty, but September 18th is when they're supposed to do the sentencing. And that's interesting. We're going to get to September 18th here in just a little bit. But in the meantime, during the course of this trial, his daughter, not his friend's daughter or a cousin or an uncle or anything like that, his flesh and blood, raised $12.7 million in the first 6 months of this year alone. She's the owner of Authentic Campaigns, nearly doubled her business from the same time 2 years ago. So would it be any coincidence that having her dad that is over the trial to have your main political opponent put in prison, would that have anything to do with it? Democrats have paid the company owned. Let me read that again. Democrats have paid the company owned by a politically active daughter of compromised Judge Juan Marchand at least $12.7 million the first half of this year alone. Federal election reports show Authentic Campaigns, the consulting firm owned by Laura Marchand, raked in a windfall between January 1st and July 1st. Her father currently presides over the Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg's case against Donald Trump. So it says currently, right? So when was this article written? This was in July. So Um, the sum represents an 86% increase in Authentic Campaign's receipts from the same time period in 2022. Democratic elected officials, candidates, and PACs reported 6.8 million in payments to Mershon between January 1st and July 1st, last general election cycle. According to the firm's website, Authentic Campaign specializes in digital marketing and fundraising. The boom in business coincides with Trump's 6-week trial in Mershon's Manhattan courtroom, which began on April 15th. Prior to the start of the jury trial, Mershon repeatedly sided with Bragg while demonstrating open hostility to the former president. Mershon imposed a gag order, which is still going on. That gag order is still in effect while the president is campaigning, mind you. He can't even talk about this. And that's why it's important. I'm going to interrupt what I'm talking about to grandstand for a second. Hi, I'm Don. That's what I do. But that's why it's important that shows like this. Now, I listen to podcasts. I don't listen to this podcast because I'm doing the podcast, right? And I know my voice is sexy. I don't need to hear it. Anyway, I listen to other podcasts, and I'm sure you guys listen to this. I do an hour or so, and you listen and you're like, I was awesome. He's the best ever. Well, I'll listen to someone else. But the thing is most of your other podcasts, and obviously there's millions of podcasts, right? I don't listen to all of them, and I'm sure you don't either. You have your select, 5 or so, 10 that you listen to. And I don't even listen to that many. I've got like 4 if I can get them in at any point in time. Anyway, so you listen to whoever you listen to. And the majority of those people, because we probably listen to 1 or 2 of the same podcast, what I listen to and what you listen to. Most of those podcasts talk about the same thing the news is talking about: the Israeli-Hamas situation, the run for president. They talk about how Kamala is this, that, and the other thing, and how Trump needs to do this, that, and the other thing. And we're talking about how there's the debates are coming up September 10th. Oh, but there's a town hall on September 4th, and it was supposed to be a debate, and blah, blah, blah. We've talked about it. And I know other podcasts are talking about those same things, but no one's really talking about this. Now, obviously, as September 18th rolls around, people will start talking about it. And the reason I want to talk about it now on September 2nd and continue to talk about it for the next 2 weeks, obviously not every show, but you know what I'm saying. The reason we need to focus on this is we need to get the word out that I don't really think that even during the case, when the case was going on, that people didn't realize what the judge presiding over the case, what his daughter's role is in the Democratic Party. Not even just in the Democratic Party, but in the party of which her main clients are the defense's opposition. Right? I think I said that right. Your main client, your daughter's main client at the time was the Biden-Harris campaign. Obviously, it's not that anymore, but her main client now is the Harris for President campaign. So whether it was Biden-Harris, Harris for President, whatever, the fact of the matter is, even though this is a jury trial and the jury found him guilty, there was plenty of things that happened during this case that the judge allowed to happen that a lot of people called unethical, that shouldn't be allowed. And then I would say the biggest thing is the gag order, which is still ongoing. While the man is out campaigning, he can't even bring this up. He can't even bring up everything that I'm saying. So once again, please, guys, I know I'm just a schmuck, just a dude with a full-time job and a part-time podcast. Who the fuck am I, right? This is where you guys play a vital role, okay? If you're listening to this on a podcast, if you're watching this on Rumble, guys, it's very important that you share the show. Now, obviously, if everything goes right, we're doing it live, right? We're doing it live. Don't worry about sharing the live, but once the live is done, it'll be in the archives. It'll still be there. Go and share the show, because people need to realize that what very well could happen in 2 weeks is interesting. Now, he might not do anything. He might sentence him to time served or probation. I don't know. One would have to believe, though, that this judge, if he was going to give a light sentence, he would have recused himself for the fact that his daughter was who she is. I mean, one would say that would be the case, because at this rate, you're tainting the possible outcome, or I shouldn't say the possible outcome, but once the sentence is done, he's going to be able to the thing, man. I sort of got it. There's days when I just don't know what I'm going to say, and then I forget what I'm going to say, and the words just don't come. But you know what I'm saying, right? I'm an idiot. But anyway, so he'll do that, and on the basis of the judge being corrupt because of his daughter. But when you have a situation where his daughter obviously didn't go into business doing this because her daddy was overseeing this trial, she was already in business. But it is coincidental that the fact that her business damn near doubled in the time that the case was announced and who the judge was going to be. So the interesting thing on that is the fact that you have a lot of things going on right now. And a lot of this is being brought to light by Laura Loomer. Now, if you don't follow her on Twitter, you're not helping yourself. And the reason I say that is this. Now, she does have a premise about her of being kind of a deep, dark conspiracy theory type individual who is out there. And I'll be honest with you, and there's nothing against Laura Loomer. I'd love to be able to have a conversation with her, but she goes out there, and there's been a lot of things I follow on Twitter. There's a lot of things that she posts that I'm kind of like, I don't know about that. But lately, she's kind of the female version of Alex Jones. And what I mean by that is she's been right a lot more than she hasn't been. Okay. And she's really out of left field on some of her stuff. For example, we'll jump in the Wayback Machine here just for a few months. You remember back the incident in Las Vegas, where Biden magically got COVID and was rushed to the airplane, because he had to bug out. And the story that we were told that, he was shaking babies and kissing hands and he was doing whatever in Vegas. And all of a sudden he found out he had COVID, how that happened all of a sudden, but whatever. And he was rushed off to Air Force One and headed back to DC. Well, she had reported that there was traffic, audio traffic, radio traffic, whatever, saying that he may have needed to go to the hospital, Biden. And that never really made mainstream. That still actually hasn't made mainstream reporting. And to the point where after a few weeks, it was actually proven correctly, because the Las Vegas Police Department released the tapes saying that there may be a situation. He didn't go to the hospital, but there may be a situation where he needed to go. Make sure to keep the traffic clear, is something to that effect. And so although he didn't go, something happened to Biden in Vegas and it wasn't COVID, that they thought he was going to have to go to the hospital. Some kind of incident, some kind of medical situation, not COVID, that caused that situation to happen. Then, if you recall, a few days later, he drops out of the race. And then we really haven't seen him since then, until magically today he shows up at the White House because of this whole Israeli thing. How long we see him before he goes on a vacation remains to be seen. But So when she reports stuff, I've been really paying attention because, like I said, and it's not just me, because, like I said, who the fuck am I? But you're starting to catch the attention of Washington now. And Jim Jordan subpoenas Progressive Political Campaign Company that employs Judge Merchan's daughter. So Jim Jordan, the Ohio Republican chairing the House Judiciary Committee, has issued a subpoena demanding further information about the political activities of the daughter of New York State Supreme Court Judge Juan Merchan, who was overseeing the Donald Trump case. In a letter to Michael Nellis, a former senior advisor to Kamala Harris, and the founder Tim Sharp. This was last week, August 22nd. Jim Jordan, Ohio Representative chairing the House Judiciary Committee, has issued a subpoena, blah, blah, blah. I already read all that. In the letter to Michael Nellis, a former senior advisor to Kamala Harris and the founder of Authentic Campaigns, Jordan accused Nellis of failing to comply with House investigators' request to documents related to Trump's prosecution. Nellis's company, Authentic Campaigns, provides a range of services, including consulting, online fundraising, digital paid media, mobile messaging, creative contact, and branding for political campaigns. It has worked with high-profile Democratic clients such as Vice President Kamala Harris, Joe Biden, Katie Hobbs. I've already read a lot of these names. So earlier this month, the committee sent a letter to Laura Merchan, Judge Juan Merchan's daughter, and the president and partner at Authentic Campaigns, requesting records pertinent to their investigation into the case brought against Trump by Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg. In a letter on Wednesday, George stated that Michael Nellis had refused to comply with previous requests, including one sent in later in the month. As a result, the committee has no option but to use compulsory measures, Jordan wrote. He argued that Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg's prosecution of former President Trump, a current president candidate, and constitutes an unprecedented abuse of power. The committee is particularly concerned with the impartiality of Judge Merchan, the presiding judge, due to his refusal to recuse himself despite apparent conflicts of interest and bias. Jordan highlighted one specific conflict, Lauren Merchan's role as president of Authentic Campaign and her work on behalf of President Trump's political opponents. He suggested that there could be a potential financial benefit to Merchan and her company from Trump's prosecution and conviction. Jordan also noted that public reports indicated Lauren Merchan and Michael Nellis were closely involved in the presidential campaign of both President Biden and Vice President Harris. Compared to Jordan's earlier request for information and subpoena has a more limited scope. In a later letter dated August 1st, he ordered Laura Merchan to turn over any and all documents pertaining to her work on the Biden administration, as well as any mention of prosecution or indictment of Trump. Jordan is granting Nellis until September 13th to comply, as per subpoena that the press was able to obtain. So the thing is I can appreciate, okay? I can appreciate what Representative Jordan's doing, okay? Here's the thing. Now, I'm going to say this, and obviously it's hard to, this is no offense to anyone in Congress, Jim Jordan or anyone else. Obviously, all you can do is what you did, okay? You're not in charge of the DOJ. You're not in charge of the Attorney General. You're not in charge of these entities. Because realistically, if this was Trump that you were investigating, you would send the FBI to kick in the front door like they did in Mar-a-Lago and raid through all this bullshit, right? You sent that August 1st. Well, I mean, I guess it was last week, that letter. But the subpoenas were sent earlier in the month. You're giving them to September 13th. I need anything that has it in there about Trump's prosecution. Whoa. Yeah, okay, it's right here. I have these letters. No, they're going to fucking burn that shit. They're going to Hillary Clinton it. So I understand the idea and it sounds all fine and dandy, but realistically, but my question is once again, August 28th, what was that? Thursday, I think. Wednesday or Thursday, right? Why why isn't anyone talking about this? Why isn't this on the news? Now I get it. I can see it not being on CNN. I can see it not being on MSNBC or whatever. But I watch Fox every day. No, you shouldn't watch Fox. You should look. It's either Fox or CNN. Okay. Now, mind you, I half listen to them. I'm mostly on the phone, Twitterizing or exercising. Twitterizing. That sounds better. And there's only certain shows I really watch on Fox, but nonetheless, they're not bringing it up. They're not talking about this. But the interesting thing about all of this is the timing. So, with that being said, because, we have to do this. We have to do this. What is, if any, the significance of September 18th as the day for sentencing? Okay. Now, let's go ahead and do what we do best on this show. Let's get into some fun, interesting conspiracy theory talk and all that jazz. Now, remember the movie Leave the World Behind? Now, this was a movie that came out last year, right? I think it was the end of last year. And I myself haven't watched the movie. I was going to watch it today, but I know how I am with movies. And if it doesn't grab my attention from the get-go, it's over. I'm out. I'm sleeping. So instead, I searched. What's the coincidences between the movie and anything? Is there any coincidences between the things going on in our world today and the movie? And there was one major coincidence in this movie. So apparently, when the movie starts, it's a camera angle from the moon, right? And alluding to the fact that there's a lunar eclipse. Oh, great. Here he goes with eclipse talk again. Just hang tight, guys. It's about timing. So during the course of the movie, a lot of odd events, and you've seen it, and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. But there was different events that happened in the movie that are reminiscent of things that have happened since the movie, not before the movie, but since the movie. Now, we all know that two of the executive producers was Michelle and Barack Obama. And we talked about this when the movie first came out because there was a story. Now, a lot of times producers, when it comes to movies or TV shows, don't have a whole hell of a lot to do with the movie per se from a script standpoint, or they do have a role to play in sometimes in who's in the movie, because the producing, I should say, of the movie is they're not physically making the movie, they're financially making the movie. You understand? That's what your producers do. Now, sometimes producers will get involved in the theme of the movie, the people, the actors in the movie, because they want to make sure their investment in the movie is going to pay out, right? Obviously. But by all accounts, according to the director, the Obamas, especially Barack, had a lot to do with the script writing of the movie and the ideas of certain events that happen. And that's where this movie really created a buzz, because especially after the fact, because there's a lot of things, or there's a few, I shouldn't say a lot, there is a few things in the movie that could equate to similar situations that have already happened. For example, in the movie, there's a ship, like a freighter ship, that supposedly in the movie is taken over, is cyber hacked, cyber attacked, and crashes, into the beach. You've probably seen the scene if you haven't seen the movie. Then a lot of people started to make that equated that to the situation that happened in Baltimore with the Francis Scott Key Bridge. Oddly enough, a story that once again no one is talking about. It's after the fact, even though that bridge is still not there. We've never really got the story on that, did we? Something else happened, and I don't know what it is because the news cycle moves so quickly. But something else has happened since then, obviously, and we've forgotten all about that. I mean, maybe not the people in Baltimore, but the other 49 states and whatever, we've forgotten all about that situation. We never did get an answer as to what happened and why it happened. I said on this show that I believe it was a cyber attack on that boat, ship, whatever. I don't know, I'm just guessing. But nonetheless, so there was that. But as like I said, the beginning of the movie is a camera shot from the moon towards Earth, and it's in the middle of a lunar eclipse. Well, if you look up lunar eclipse schedule in the near future, the next one is September 17th of this year. Now, this movie was made last year. They know you can look up the lunar and solar eclipses and where they're going to be. They know all this stuff. These scientists are smart. They know. So, obviously, the director and the producers of this movie said, we want to have the opening sequence be this. That way we can frame a timeline. Okay. Now, a lot of times you'll watch movies and whatever happens doesn't necessarily have anything to do with real time. But in this situation, they want it, even though it's a movie and it's fake, they wanted you to have a timeline that you could reference. Okay. So you have the beginning. So essentially, this movie, even though it doesn't necessarily say when the dates are, it's gives you the idea of when the date is. Okay. Because of the beginning montage of the movie. Now, coincidentally enough, the sentencing is September 18th, the day after this eclipse. Now, in the movie, all this centers around 9/17. The date does appear in the movie, doesn't give a year, but the 9/17 does appear in the movie at one point when there's emergency broadcast. Because in the movie, there is a cyber attack and the internet goes down and a lot of things happen. Tesla cars, you can no longer drive, electricity goes out, internet goes out, these things. And generally speaking, when you're making a movie, not that I've ever made a movie. Well, I've made some, but that's neither here nor there. I'm joking. Usually in a movie, whether it's a war movie, a scary movie, whatever, it's not like the actors are really involved in those situations. It's not like they're really getting shot at, or it's not like really Jason's really coming after them, right? It's just the illusion of that. But this movie freaked a lot of people out. It freaked the director out so bad that he was scared to talk to Obama about some of the things because of the way the Obamas were dealing with the idea of what should happen in this movie. But even to the point where, like, Julia Roberts, I saw an interview with her where the other girl, there's a younger girl in the movie, I don't know her name. Most people, and I would say most of us, you listening to this right now, most of us don't have a landline, right? We gave those up. Why do you need a landline? You got cell phones. And maybe that was the pure genius behind cell phones, to get rid of landlines. But anyway, to the point where she, after making this movie, Julia Roberts got a landline and encouraged the person, this younger girl, to do the same. So how often do you see actors or actresses make a movie of any kind that freaks them out so much that there seems to be so much truth in this movie that would cause them to change their life, their lifestyle, and the way they do things? You understand what I'm saying? It's just a movie, right? It's just fake. But the things that happen in this movie, even though when they make movies and television shows and stuff like that, generally speaking, they're not made in succession. You know, you might film this scene here today, and it might be the 10th scene in the movie, but you did it the first day of shooting. You understand what I'm saying? They don't film it like, okay, scene one, this is what we're doing. Scene two, this is what we're doing. Monday we're doing scene one. Wednesday we're doing scene two, so on and so forth. It doesn't work like that. They literally do scene. Okay, it's night today. We're going to do scene 20. You understand what I'm saying? So she was obviously freaked out enough that it created some kind of fear in her mind that she said, you know what, I should probably have a landline, and you probably should too. But in the movie on 9/17, everything goes down. Okay, apocalyptic events occur. Now, what have we been hearing for years? The last couple of years, we've been hearing how Iran might be getting into our infrastructure, might be causing a situation, might be trying to do a cyber attack. We've heard this about Iran. We've heard this about Russia. We've heard this about China. Well, coincidentally, all three of those countries pretty much hate us. So who's to say any one of them would be responsible when all three of them could be responsible, right? If there were to be a World War III, and we based it on the terms of how past world wars went, so like in World War II, for example, you had the axis of evil, right? That was Germany, Japan, and Italy, right? Then the Allies was basically everyone else, but like America, Britain, France, whatever. In this scenario, your axis of evil would be Russia, China, Iran. As far as we know, that's the story we're being told anyway. And your allies would be, whoever, America, Great Britain, whatever. In these situations, if you have three countries that would equate to the axis of evil, and all three of these countries we're being told anyway, want to do a cyber attack and want to do whatever, and then you have a movie. I mean, I'm not trying to say that, okay, today's the second, go out and buy a shit ton of food, go do this, go to My Patriot Supply, do this, that, and everything. I'm not saying that, and I never have said that. Now, I have told you to be as prepared as you possibly can be, obviously. Monetarily, be as prepared as you possibly can be, because realistically, times are tough. You can't necessarily run out and buy a shit ton of supplies. I get it. Hopefully, in the 3+ years that I've been talking to you guys, you've listened. And if nothing else, if you haven't done anything else I've asked you to do, you've armed yourself. Because realistically speaking, and this is how we're going to close out the show. Realistically speaking, if shit goes south, I'm not saying that with the Trump situation on September 18th, that there's going to be a cyber attack and everything's going to go down. But we are seeing situations around the world right now. For example, this broke today. Brazil has shut down Twitter in Brazil. When will other countries follow? In this country, you have the vice president, the person running for president, Kamala Harris, calling for a similar situation to happen in this country. She wants to take your freedom of speech away from you. I don't want to take your freedom of speech. I just want to take the misinformation from X off of. No, it's still freedom of speech. If I run out to the street right now and say the sky is red, well, you can look up and see that it's not red, but I'm still spreading misinformation, right? I can get on Twitter or X, whatever, and say the same thing, and I'm going to get community noted. My point being is this. It might not be a situation on September 17th or 18th where we have a cyber attack and everything gets shut down. But it would be interesting to know that, what do you think? And this is something Chris and I have talked about. What do you think could happen on September 18th? What if Trump is sent to jail. There was a video. Laura Loomer posted this, and she wrote this on Twitter. And I did not save it. And I'm sure now that I'm thinking about it, Laura Loomer. I guarantee you I'm not going to be able to find it because she tweets like a motherfucker. But I'm going to look anyway. Like I said. Bless it. She does tweet like a motherfucker. I mean, no offense, because she does give you a lot of shit. I just got to scroll fast enough that maybe I can find it. Is this it? No. God bless it. I wish I would have saved it. I think that's, no. She posted, God dog it, Don. Why don't you save shit when you fucking see it? I'm an idiot. That's why. Not because I'm an idiot. Yeah, that's funny. Is this it now? I know this is riveting content, but I'm really trying to find this. Let me look on my phone. Maybe I saved it on my phone. Come on, phone. Open up Twitter. Scooby Dooby Doo. Here it is. No, that's not it. Here it is. All right. So she tweeted this out the other day. Federal law enforcement agents have just told me that the New York State National Guard has started staging guardsmen in hotels around New York City courthouse where President Trump is going to be sentenced on September 18th, as they are expecting that Trump will be taken into custody and sent directly to Rikers Island by Judge Juan Merchan. Sources say the National Guard is being staged because the mayor of New York City, Eric Adams, and the governor of New York, Kathy Hochul, both believe the police unions are preparing to stage a mass out sick day in support of President Trump on September 18th. And then there was a gentleman who posted a video where, why are you guys here? I'm going to pause this because I don't, well, you don't need to hear it because you can't hear for shit. But anyway, he's this dude. He's just scrolling. He's just walking down the street and he's doing a video. He finds that there's outside of, what hotel is that? Hotel Wolcott in New York City. The army is stationed at this hotel. What are you doing here? No one would answer him. They kick him out of the hotel. Now, you go to a hotel, you walk in the front door, and there's a desk, and that's usually where you go to check in. If you watch the video, go to Laura Loomer, you can find it. There's army personnel all through this hotel. They kick him out. So, Kathy Hochul, one of the names on the list, by the way, ordered the National Guard in New York City 2 weeks ahead of schedule. Now, when I say, I'm not trying to say that there's going to be a cyber attack and bridges are going to be running, or not bridges, boats are going to be running up on shores. I'm not saying that. Teslas are going to stop. But what if they do? What if on the 17th of September, that movie kind of prepared us and scared us into something that may actually happen by our own government? Because we need to have a boogeyman. So we've prepared the country, the public, for the boogeyman with everything that's going on in Israel right now. We've prepared everybody for the boogeyman so that when things happen, we can say Iran, right? What happened when Trump was shot a couple weeks, a month or so ago, right? When that situation happened, what came out after the fact? Oh, there's an Iran threat against Trump, right? I'm not saying that there isn't and there wasn't, but shit, they've been wanting Trump dead since when he was president. He killed Soleimani, so that's no surprise. So who's to say that in this situation, we know who the boogeyman is? Right now, we're focused on Iran, right? But they use that as an excuse to shut things down. Even if it's not everything, and shutting the internet down could be bad enough because that would stop that could mess up a lot of things. But what if it's not the internet as a whole, but it's the internet as a public resource? It's the internet as being able to get on your phone, your Twitter, your Facebook, your whatever. Or like in my case, we don't have cable. Okay. We have the internet, and I have, YouTube TV. Well, if the internet goes out, so that's what I'm saying. It's not necessarily that the internet goes out in the sense that it shuts down the electrical companies and those types of things where we don't have electricity, but just your information, just the flow of information goes away. What if that happens? That could actually be the case. And it happens the day before sentencing. Well, why would that be important? Because what if the plan is to put him in prison? What if that is the plan? Now, Trump has tweeted out, or Truth Social out, whatever, that if you do this, then I'll just be that much more popular. You throw me in prison, my popularity will go through the roof. And it's true. Look at all the things that have happened this year with different court cases. Every time something has happened to him, he's gained in the polls, right? Right now, depending on what poll you want to look at, they're basically tied. One poll might have him up, one poll might have her up. I've done a show on that. I don't trust the polls, so whatever. But what do you think happens if they actually put him in prison? It's one thing to be found guilty in whatever the case may be. But what if they actually locked him up, send him to Rikers? Now, I've read stories where Rikers is preparing for him to be there. Could it be a situation where Kathy Hochul, being that she's involved with the judge's daughter's company, maybe has an insight as to what the judge is actually going to do, therefore the National Guard? And what if it's not necessarily because they think the police are all going to call out sick, but it could be that bad, and they need the National Guard there? It's a possibility. And could everything be exacerbated by the shutting down of the internet? Because unless you happen to be there, I'm in Florida. If the internet goes down, I can't watch TV. I can't get any information on my phone. I can't get on Twitter. I can't get on Facebook. I can't get on anything. I'm not going to know shit. Right? And on top of that, a lot of people nowadays get their information not from the television. A lot of people don't watch Fox and CNN and MSNBC, and they don't get their information from mainstream media. They get their information from podcasts. They get their information from Rumble, from YouTube, from Twitter, from Snapchat, from TikTok, from Facebook, from, and I went over this a week or so ago when I told you the amount, I think it was on my polling show, actually, the amount of people, or the percentage, I should say, of people that get their information from the internet, from some source of the internet. Okay. It's well over 70% of this country gets their information from the internet. Well, if you shut down the internet, you shut down the information, and then people won't really know. Therefore, riots will not be able to ensue. Things will not be able to happen initially, but it gets everybody able to be prepared for the inevitable. Now, obviously, I've been wrong lately on things. I've been right lately on things. I think the whole reason I want to talk about this, and the whole reason I'm doing this on the 2nd, is not to scare you, is to prepare you. Okay? It's to tell you that maybe nothing will happen. Maybe September 17th will come and go, and the 18th will show up the next day, and they just give him probation. But also, maybe that doesn't happen. I guess we'll know a lot come the 17th of September if all of a sudden we can't talk, right? But until then, we will talk. So with that being said, guys, today is September 2nd. I think I got an open mic tomorrow. I think tomorrow I'm going to be back. That's right. I think I'll be back Tuesday. So, guys, please make sure you're following the show. Hopefully, I'm going to review this on Rumble, see how this turned out after we're all said and done here. So we'll have to see. We'll see what happens. If not, I will be back tomorrow. I might not be live on Rumble, but I will be back. So, guys, please make sure to go to Rumble, follow the show, Don't Tread on America TV, so you can watch this live. Other than that, please make sure whatever podcast app you're listening to this on that you are following the show, you're subscribed, whatever that button is there. If you're on Apple or Spotify, guys, please leave me a rating. If you're on Apple, leave me a review. Follow us on social media at Don't Tread on America on Facebook, Instagram, True Social, and the Ticker Talker, and on the Twitter X Machine at 17 DTOM _ 1775, and on the website Don't Tread on America. If you want to email me directly, you can. Please do so. DonQ at Don'tTreadOnAmerica.com. Guys, please don't forget about the sponsor, Reaper Apparel Company. Check them out. Reaper Apparel Co. Link is at the bottom of the podcast app. Also, don't forget about DTOM Store. Help me, help you, help them. Let's get this show rolling. You guys have a great day. I'll talk to you tomorrow. See ya.